In the previous classes, we have discussed on the module 1, that is the revision we have done on module 1. Okay, in today's class, we will be revising the module 2. It is just a revision. We will be reviewing what things we have already covered. We will be just reviewing it. And if you want the things about any of the topics in detail, you can refer to my previous videos. Okay, so first we will see what we need to cover in module 2. In module 2 we will be discussing on what are processing technique, what is the purpose of processing, then what is chemical volume reduction, that is incineration, then what is 3T, then component design factors to be considered in incineration, then air pollution control, how we can control it, then mechanical volume reduction, that is compaction, then size reduction, that is shredding, then component separation, that is manual and mechanical. All these things, how we need to do it, that we will be seeing. Now first of all, we will see what is processing technique, okay, and then what is the purpose of it. Now in the processing technique, what we are exactly doing is, in order to increase the efficiency of the solid waste disposal system, we will be processing the waste. Okay, then to recover the resources, that is usable material, if anything it is there in the solid waste, we will be recovering it. Then to prepare the materials for recovery or the conversion of products and energy. So this is what the purpose of processing. Now first we will come to the chemical method or the volume reduction, or chemical method of volume reduction, that is we will see what is incineration. Now in simple terms, the incineration is nothing but a burning. It is a process of burning of waste in a closed furnace at a very high temperature, okay, in the presence of oxygen. That is nothing but called as an incineration. Okay, so now what are the things will be coming in incineration is, the first thing, it is nothing but the first thing that we will be having is 3T. Now 3T is nothing but time, turbulence and temperature. Now first, what is time? Time is how much time we are going to burn the waste in an incineration. That is going to be very, very important aspect when we are going to burn the solid waste into the incineration. Okay, now if we burn the waste material for a very short period of time, then it is going to burn incompletely, and it is going to give the product of incomplete combustion. Now time, turbulence. What is turbulence? Turbulence, in order to burn the solid waste, what we want is, we want the oxygen in order to burn any of the elements. So if we don't supply the oxygen content in a sufficient way, then the solid waste will not burn, or completely it will not burn, or it will burn incompletely, and again it is going to give the product of incomplete combustion. Then time, turbulence is over temperature. So if whatever the material is there, if we want to burn it completely, or if we want to reduce the volume, some of the materials are there which is going to which can be burnt at even at a lesser temperature. Okay, so if we are going to give appropriate temperature, then only its volume is going to be getting reduced. Or if we are not giving the appropriate temperature, what may happen is, it is going to burn incompletely, and again it may give the product of incomplete combustion. So this is regarding 3Ts. Overall 3Ts are nothing but, if you any of these, time, turbulence or temperature, if you are not going to burn, or if you are not giving them the 3Ts appropriate time, temperature and turbulence, then the product will burn incompletely, and it is going to give the product of incomplete combustion. So this is regarding 3Ts. Now we will see what are the advantages of incineration. Now incineration is going to reduce the volume of waste material up to about 95 to 97%, and the whatever the product that we are going to get from the incineration is, we can use the ash. It can be used for the brick making, then clinker, then your all these things we will be using it. And again the heat produced, it can be used to boil the water and get the steam out of it, and the electric energy can be produced out of it. So these are nothing but the different types of the advantages that we are going to have from the incineration. And the incineration, it is done beyond the temperature of around 800 degree Celsius. I'll repeat: the process of burning of the waste material at a very high temperature in a closed furnace in presence of oxygen is nothing but called as an incineration. So this is regarding 3Ts. Now what are the different types of incinerator we are going to have is, we will be having the rotary kiln incinerator. This is the diagram of the rotary kiln incinerator. As the name is having the rotary kiln, what the working I have already explained, right? So just we will overview it. Waste we are going to feed through it. From here there will be fuel and oxygen and oil will be sent. Then as it is having the rotary kiln, it is going to have the rotation of about 3/4 to 4 rpm per revolutions per minute. Here it is we are going to maintain the slope of around 2 to 4 percentage. So whatever the waste we are going to send through these rotary kiln, it is due to this particular slope it is going to come. And the again, since it is the kiln is continuously rotating of the revolutions of around 3/4 to 4 rpm, so continuously the waste will be brought to this particular level. Here it is going to be flowed on your conveyor belt, and then the ash we are going to get it at the end. And again here we are going to have the exhaust. Okay, here we are going to, for a rotary kiln incinerator, we will be using the temperature of around 800 degrees Celsius, and we will be normally using the fuel as a diesel we will be using. Now we will see the next type of incinerator. The next incinerator is the multiple hearth furnace. As the name is indicating, the multiple hearth furnace, it is having the multiple hearths. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So hearths will be there. Here in these particular compartments, the actual burning is going to happen. So what we exactly do in your multiple hearth furnace is, the waste will be fed through this particular inlet, and then as these rubble arms are going to have these arms, we call it as a rubble arms. It will be continuously rotating the waste, whatever we are feeding, it will be continuously rotating here, and then the heat is going to be supplied from the bottom. Here drying of the waste material will be taken. Then again as the waste material will come down, the temperature is going to increase, and the ash is going to produce, and the flue gases will come outside, and the ash we are going to get from the bottom. So this is regarding your multiple hearth furnace. This is regarding your next type of incinerator, that is the fluidized bed incinerator. In the fluidized bed incinerator, we will be using the sand as a fluidized bed, silica sand we will be using it as a fluidized bed. So here what we are going to do is, here the air is going to be get blown. Okay, so due to that, the silica is going to be flowing like a fluid, and the temperature we are going to maintain around 800 degrees Celsius. So whatever the waste will be fed through here, and then the waste is going to be get burned, and the flue gases will be taken outside. Okay, so this is regarding your fluidized bed incinerator. Now we will be covering regarding the air pollution preventing equipment receiver. Whatever the waste we are going to burn through the incinerator should be always, it is going to be, it has to be connected with these air pollution preventing equipment, so that whatever the carbon or SPM, that is suspended particulate matter, which is going to come, it has to be removed out when it is going to reach the atmosphere. For that purpose, we will be using these air pollution preventing equipment. In this air pollution preventing equipment, the first thing what we are going to study is regarding the gravitational settling chamber. Here in the gravitational settling chamber, whatever the flue gases which is going to come from the incinerator, we will be allowing it here inside this particular gravitational settling chamber. We will be controlling its velocity. So we are going to reduce the velocity of the flue gases. So whatever the suspended particulate matter or carbon, whatever it is there, it is going to get settled down in this particular settling chamber by its own weight. Since we have reduced the velocity, what will happen is, the particle, if it is having the higher weight, what will happen is, the particle are going to get settled down here, the particles is going to get removed. This is regarding, and here we are here from this end, we will be getting the clean air gases. So this is regarding your gravitational settling chamber. Next is type of your air pollution preventing equipment is nothing but the fabric filter. So as the name is having the fabrics, here we will be using the fabrics in order to remove the flue gases from the air. So whatever the flue gases which are coming from incinerator, we will be sending it through the fabric. As these fabrics are attached to the manifold, the size of the these fabrics and all I have told in detail and in our last classes, so kindly refer that. So from here the flue gases is going to come, and these, as these fabrics are having the pores in it, what it will do is micropores in it, whatever the larger suspended particulate matter are there, or it is going to be get arrested in these fabrics, and here at the end we will be getting the clean air. So this is regarding the fabric filter in more details regarding the structure, how it is constructed, how it is going to, what are the operational problems. If you want in detail, it is there in my previous class in the detailed explanation, it is there regarding the fabric filter. Next thing what we are going to have is the electrostatic precipitator. It is the most efficient type of your air pollution preventing equipment. It can remove the particle of around 0.1 microns also, the particle it can remove. It is the most efficient type of air pollution preventing equipment. It basically it runs on the electricity. Here we are going to have the one of the dust collecting electrode. So it is, what it will do is, it is, we are going to have the dust collecting electrode and the discharging electrode. So whenever the current is given to it, so what will happen is the negatively charged particle, it is going to be get attracted to it, and once we stop the electric current, then the discharged electrode is there, it is going to discharge the suspended power, whatever the attracted particle are there, it is going to be get collected here at the downside. So this is how we will be having the your cleansing of the suspended particulate matter which is present in the air by using the electrostatic precipitator. Next is we will be having regarding the scrubbers, we will be studying regarding it. So here, as you know that the water droplets attracts dust particle. So in this particular process, what we exactly we are doing is, whatever the gases that has to be cleaned out, it is going to be passed from the bottom, okay, and then from the top we will be passing the water to it. So the water, it is going to attract some of the suspended particle whichever it is present in that particular water, it is going to attract, and the suspended particle matter whichever is there, it is going to be get cleaned out, and here we are going to get the clean air. In this we are having the different types of it. We are having your cyclone scrubber is there, right, and then such kind of different types are we are going to have in this particular scrubber type. Here in the scrubbers we will be using the water media in order to remove the finer suspended particle matter which is present in the polluted gas. Now we have covered the first segment, that is the chemical method of volume reduction. We have covered it. Now we will be covering the second part, that is having the size reduction, volume reduction, all these things we will be covering. It is the second part of your the module 2. Then here we are going to have the size reduction. In the size reduction, basically what we are going to do is, whatever the waste materials it is there, before sending it to the disposal site or the processing, what we will be doing is we will be reducing its size so that it can be compacted and all. For that we will be doing this volume reduction, size reduction. So here in the size reduction, as the name is indicating, we are going to reduce the size. Here we will be having the instruments like the hammer mill, shear shredder, then your flail mill. Here basic thing is, what we are going to do, on the waste conveyor belt the waste material will be passed, and then in the hammer mill we will be taking the utilization of hammer along with this breaking bar. Here it is hammer mill, it is continuously it is rotating, the waste material will be fed through it, and since the hammer mill is continuously rotating, and here the cutting bar is there, so waste material whatever has been put, it is going to be get cut down here, and then it is going to be followed on the discharging belt. Okay, so here the size reduced waste material will be coming, and we will be at the end we will be having the size reduced material. Shear shredder also same. Here we are going to have the two disc, in between the disc the waste material is spent, and then it is going to be rotate in opposite in the opposite direction. So what is going to have is, it is going to be the waste is going to be shredded here. In the flail mill also the same thing will be utilized. In the size separation, what we will be using is we will be using the different screen for it. So vibrating screen, rotary screen and eddy screen, three types of screens we will be using. What we exactly do in these screening is we are going to separate the waste material based upon its size. So vibrating screen, as the name is indicating, it is going to get vibrated. This particular screen is going to be get vibrated, and it is since it is going to have the screens on it, core screen and fine screens are there. Here core screen is there, and at the bottom fine screen is there. So it is vibrating in both the directions. It is going to vibrate in this direction also and in this direction also. So what is going to happen, the size, the waste material whichever are smaller, having smaller size than this, they are going to they are going to get passed through these particular screen, and then again it is going to be arrested, and then again smaller than this it is going to be get collected. So rotary screen also it is same thing like that. So waste materials will be fed from here, okay, as these are going to have the openings here, it is going to continuously, it is going to rotate, and then the waste material is going to be get collected. Whichever the oversized material are there, it is going to pass here, and then it is going to be taken out here. So this is regarding the rotary screen. Disc screen also the same, the working is same. Okay, so here what is going to happen, we are going to have the various types of a disc over here. The waste is going to be fed through it, it is continuously in a rotation. Then the waste material, oversized material will be taken here, and undersized material will be taken from here. The next thing is your density separation. In the density separation, we are going to pass the or separate the waste material based upon its densities. Here, first thing what we are going to do in the first type is your air classification system. We are going to basically separate the waste material based upon its density. So from here at the bottom, the with the high velocity the air is going to be get passed, and from here the solid waste is going to be fed from the conveyor belt. And when due to this high velocity, what the lighter particle are going to be get passed through these particular your conveyor belt, and heavier particle will be getting collected over here. Since it is going to have the cyclonic motion, heavy your light material is going to be get collected over here, and the heavy particle, since it is its density is much more higher, it is getting collected over here. So this is regarding your air classification system. In component separation, here we will be separating the ferrous and the non-ferrous material. Here magnetic separator we will be using it. The magnetic ferrous and non-ferrous material is going to be get separated. Here it is going to, we are going to have the magnet, and here we are going to have the conveyor belt. As the waste is fed through these conveyor, here the magnet is going to attract them, and then it is fed over the conveyor belt, and then the ferrous material is going to be get separated over here, and the non-ferrous material will be thrown out. So this is regarding your magnetic separator. Now we will be seeing what is a cubing and pelleting. As the name is suggesting, since whatever the DRDF, that is refuse derived fuels are there, we will be utilizing these that is used in the gasification and the pyrolysis. So here whatever the waste material are there, it is going to be that can be burnt in the incineration or pyrolysis, that is fed over this particular conveyor belt, and here shear shredder we will be using it, which is going to reduce the size of the waste material. Then it is going to be blown by the air. Then since the lighter materials are there, like paper and all, it is going to be collected here in this particular system. Then this particular your scrubber, cyclonic scrubber, what it will do is it is going to whirl the waste material, since the higher velocity is used here. Okay, then here it is thrown on the conveyor, the belt. Okay, and then it is going to be have the your on conveyor belt, the water is going to be get sprinkled from here. So here we will be, whatever the paper particles that we have got, it is going to be get attached with each other, and its size is going to increase, and here at the end we will be getting the cubes. So this kind of a cubes, whatever we are getting, it is of a size of around 3 in 1 inches and all, or half to 3/4 in diameter if it is a circular, or if it is in a cube, then it is will be in 3 inch to 1 inch. Okay, so such kind of cubing and pelleting things that we are going to have it. So this is regarding your module 2. So we have seen all the things we have already covered here in the module 2. Okay, so we have covered what is purpose of processing, what is chemical reduction, that is incineration, what is 3Ts, then components, then air pollution control by equipments, then mechanical volume reduction, your compaction we have seen it, then size reduction, then component separation we have seen it. Okay, so this is regarding your module 2. Okay, thank you.